All right, Alec has said he's on his way, so we're just waiting on him now.
Hello?
There it is.
Hey, I'm gonna announce the town hall on my server just to make sure everyone is in here, and then we can start when you're ready.
All right, wonderful. I'm gonna wait for you to put out your announcement.
That's fine.
I
Yeah, I'm almost done. I'm doing an at here ping. And then I'm actually gonna use the bathroom real quick. Take me
All right,
like 1
good.
minute, and then we'll begin when you're ready. All right. So we'll let that marinate, and then I'll be right back. I'll take me like a minute.
Okay, so I'm going to cover a few things while Alec has stepped away. I'm going to explain how this is going to work. So, due to the participation of Alec, I will be starting off with I will be capping off my speaking time at 30 minutes, and Alec will have the same, and we will be answering questions. Any person who is trying to provoke the other side, whether it's Xandris or Octavian, trying to provoke one another, they'll be muted for about a day. Spamming requests to come up will be result in a mute and a timeout. And Xandrist, at the end of this event, will be asked to leave Octavian.
All right, I'm ready when you are. I am pretty much all set. So I'll let you have your section, and I'll just be in the background until it's my turn.
Okay, so I will be opening up my about 30 minutes of questions. If anyone has questions, I will be picking them out from the chat. If I don't get to yours and ask it again, I probably will. But I'm starting at the 30 minutes now. So if you have a question, you can put it in the town hall stage chat. Do I personally think Alec is guilty? I think, regardless of the grooming allegations, which I don't fully know, I think he has said enough weird stuff and has enough like jokes and stuff like that that I still would not want a direct association with him. So, regardless of guilty or not, because this is an illegal matter, I still think he's said and done enough weird stuff. It's clear that the RCR document is taking a guilty until proven innocent approach to a more Christian innocent until proven guilty. Seeing the document is made up of exaggeration and lies, do you intend to punish people for slandering Alexander's name? We don't want people to be throwing around baseless pedophile allegations. Obviously, discussing the situation is okay, and having conversations about the situation is okay. But full-on slander of just calling him he's a pedophile, he's a freak. We don't want to build that in our community. So that's something we just don't want. How do I feel about Alec in a personal way? I've always had a friendly relationship with him. Obviously, we've had ups and downs, but I've been friendly with him at least. Will you ever incorporate Xandris into Octavia as a political party? For the time being, no, but it's been discussed. Xandrism is obviously an important ideology in Octavium. So at the moment, not right now, so that we can lower it. Like we don't want to push it up. We don't want to elevate it. So right now, no. Hold on. I understand the concern with bringing Alec back revolves around doing political takeover. As a Christian who's never backstabbed anyone, and the hint that he betrays Octavian. There is no standard for Alec coming back, nor does he want to come back. Do you think Octavium can ever regain its former influence without Alexander as a figurehead, or is it destined to remain a niche community? I think it could grow with the right development. that's kind of what I've been trying to achieve with the group. I'm wanting to push development much further, more than what we have. Our gun system's not that great. The uniforms, they look nice. Madrid is an older map. I want to push development and open it to a broader community. But I respect the community that was already here and was already built, and that's the main thing. Because I don't want to toss that aside. Many Octavian leaders lost their role after Alex stepped down. So that was because Luigard owned the group. Luigard had disagreements with the people who he appointed as emperor. Luigard doesn't own the group anymore. He cannot do that anymore. So leadership is stable now because Luigard no longer owns the group. What will be the name, purpose, and reasoning for the new map? I don't know. We're going to be working on a new map. It's going to be, I think, more of an island map as well. And I want to add naval stuff as well. Is there a possibility of Octavium merging into Tonia? Absolutely fucking not. Has there been plans to set aside the beef with Alexander and to bring unity and peace to Octavium? There's plans to push Xanderism out of Octavium and then have peace. Do you plan to do anything about discriminating, shunning against Christians? We are building a new constitution currently that still uplifts and names Christians and specifically Roman Catholics as the state religion. That is our primary goal. We don't accept discriminating of any religion. Several key staff members have resigned from Octavium, some citing disagreements with leadership decisions. Do you believe these departures reflect deeper structural issues within the group? So there's a lot of stability when we came in. There's a bunch of people who resigned when we came in, and it was no longer Luigard leading. For example, Rising Mo, who's not a Rising anymore, but he had a separation with us a while ago, and he has done a lot of weird and bad things. So it's not like we want him anyway. But yeah, a lot of people did step down, and that puts us in a good position because we don't have to worry about the people who don't plan to do stuff anymore. Many former Octavians say it lost its original vision. What, in your view, is the core purpose of the group today? So, honestly, the core purpose is to expand the group. We want to make it more accessible to other people. That's really it. Do you think mass reporting is bad? Yeah, I don't think you should mass report anyone. I don't like that. That's a form of like admin abuse and attack. Who is the current primary leader of Octavium? That is me. I abolished the position of emperor, and I have taken up Cadillo as head of state. Do you think former members who left on bad terms could ever be reconciled with, or are the bridges permanently burned? We're willing to let people come back. I don't believe in permanently burning bridges at all. We're not leaving stalemated at the moment. Discussions have been made to go to alternate communities, but I don't have an intention of doing that, and it's not as easy to do that. Who will lead the regime, order, and army? Why did you choose them? So I appointed a premier. He was actually Xander's before I appointed him, so that's part of the reconcile. We spoke things out. We figured things out. As for Generalissimo and Legion, I trust Armand to lead the Legion entirely. The army still needs a lot of work. Will you give Stahl compensations for using a map? No, I bought the assets outright from the people who owned it, 216 and Luigard. Stahl will not be given compensation. We are moving to make a new map as fast as we can. Is Stahl going to be pardoned? I don't know what Stahl did. I've always had a positive relationship with Stahl. Do you feel that Xanderism is a cult? I think that it's not a healthy obsession that many people have. For example, many people have come to me saying that they feel put down from being in it after being in it for so long. Many people are saying that Cadens bought Octavium for you. This isn't true. Cadens actually got removed from Octavium. They're not involved in any way. Why do you say you want to keep the current community? You've been contradicted by saying you want to push Xanderism out. Because the current community is not hand in hand with Xanderism now. I said I respect the current community and I want to maintain some resemblance of it, but Xanderism is a ideology that we are not going to allow for the time being. What are my political views? Irrelevant. I don't like Trump though. What else? Is it true that you didn't buy Octavium yourself? Apparently other Risings bought it for you. This is I have investors. Obviously, I'm not going to front $5,000 myself for a group. Zone or Cadden? Neither. How was your relationship past leaving Alex Octavium? We spoke, continuing even after the controversy with me leaving Octavium. We had conversations. I still helped him out. So, there was no bad blood there. What is my opinion on the Loyalist cast by Dave Richarian? I've not heard of what you're talking about. Mentioning Alexander is not punishable. I don't think Xander should stay in the server unless they plan to partake and not act weird. In fact, I wanted to build a museum. I think Israel is a piece of shit, and I think we should stop funding it. But that's not relevant to this, so keep it relevant here.
Based.
Thank you. Will praising the glorious founder of Octavium be allowed? I think that's idolization. I think you should listen to what Alec has to say about that specifically. Obviously, there's history there that we want to maintain. It's clear that the RCR and Banastic video. Okay, you've already posted that, Maximus. Don't repeat. I pretty much already answered your question. ROC annexing Macau in relationship with Teutonia. I don't know much about the inner workings of stalemated politics yet. I've had my first conversation with them only just yesterday. Do you think activity will die because Alexander left? Not really. I feel like there will be a hit that'll happen, but with the marketing from videos and stuff, I mean, it'll go up, it'll go down. Stuff will happen. No, there will be no conversation about restoring Xander's leadership. What are the plans for the army? I plan on giving them actual stuff to do. So we bought a mortar system for the artillery regiment because back when I was generalissimo out here, we would just throw bombs at people. We actually bought a mortar system that we need to make work with our current systems. I plan on expanding on specific. I want to make tanks easier. Can you possibly comment on the Manwich Secretary of Viceroy, who's a femboy? I don't care what people are as long as they do their job. I think the identity politics that comes hand in hand with the Xandrist ideology is annoying. Because when I was first hired here, I was actually questioned on a number of things. I was questioned on my personal religion, my personal politics, and all of that when I first took up a command position within Octavium. And I felt weirded out by that. I didn't feel very welcome by that. So I don't think it's relevant. Obviously, if they're pushing that behavior outwards and they're making it other people's issues, then there's an issue. But if they're not, I've only seen people attacking Manwich, not the other way around. Do you plan on adding new uniforms? Actually, yes, we do have new Order and Legion uniforms coming. They look very nice. So we're working on all of that. What do you think about Lugard's mass reports on the Xanders? I've already said I don't support any mass reporting. I think it's weird to do so. What's the course of action regarding Xanders in the future? For the short term, we will be shooting people who's in game. Who I have to clarify in game because some people. We'll be shooting Xanders in game and not allowing them into the city if they're outwardly Xanders. For Xanders who make issues in our community, they will be banned. Opinion on Egypt blocking human aid to Gaza. I think Israel should not exist. Hearing the town hall, we could probably agree that there are a lot of Xanders who are in Octavium, seeing that this is the case. The ban, is there plan to remove the ban on Xanderism? Like I said, no. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, but instead of wood, you didn't give me the end of that, Hassan. What do you want me to say? If someone says Ave Alexander in game, what will be the punishment? Hopefully they just get shot in the face, but they might get arrested. Obviously, I don't want them to be arrested, but I need to do that. Will Alec be banned after this meeting? He'll be asked to leave. Banned? Probably not. He'll be asked to leave. What do you think about America First ideology and why? I think Nick Fuentes is a fucking idiot. And I think the America First ideology is a bunch of rage baiters. I agree with the overall statement of America First. Stop giving $1 billion to Israel. Stop giving $1 billion to Ukraine. Stop doing all of that. But I think America First as the politics is just a rage baiting idiots. No. Seeing that Xanders still make up a large portion of the community, even as Silent is continuing to ban. I've already made my statements on the ban. Do I support Kamala or Trump? Neither. What will be Octavium's alignment with Teutonia stalemate? We're going to be staying in stalemate for the time being, and we'll probably continue the war with Teutonia. I don't support a political party.
Be clear, we will not associate with you as long as you associate with Alec.
Okay, get off my stage.
Bruh.
How do we eradicate the Xanders? Hopefully quickly. What do you think about Lockhart telling all his members that he went to a brothel? I don't care. Am I a white nationalist? Absolutely not. What are the overall rally expectations? What we want to do is we want to set up a rally beforehand. And figure out where to go from there. We want to always constantly improve. Done. Okay, checking back in. Is there a future where Xanders and Octavians live freely together? Possibly. Far in the future. Not anytime soon. The number I bought Octavian for is pretty public. Obviously, people misunderstand what buying it means. I've had investors, I've had other people involved in the purchase of it. Okay, I've already answered your question, Tabby. I said you shut up. That is a question that I've already answered. AMPL. So why is Octavium so dead? Actually, I looked at the numbers after Alexander left, and the activity has, while lower on average, has had more consistency. The biggest enemy facing Octavium, stalemated or Sanders, right now it's Sanders. Stalemated isn't trying to blow up my group. Many people in Sanders are, even without the direct support of Alec. Do you think Alec is a good, nice, kind person who should lead? I had no issues with him, but I do have personal issues with him. I don't want him leading anything here. I think that's weird. Itheros. Is there a risk of Octavian being removed from Stalemated? I don't know why, but if they do, then fuck them. What will be the fate of the pontificate? I will have to talk to the Pope and Evil Howard about that. What are my future plans for the Legion? Honestly, the Legion is doing probably the best out of any of our divisions right now. So I trust Armand and his leadership of that. Do I think the Xandris will suffer a similar fate as the... No. No, Hassan. What is my personal opinion on Lloydguard? I haven't spoken to him much. I don't have much personal, like, interaction with him. As far as I've seen from Lloydguard, he's been nice to me. And he's leading a successful group. How do you feel about the claims that from Lloydguard that Octavium is a puppet state? It was before I got here. Alec didn't own Octavium. Lloydguard did. The people who came before me have been puppets, not me. Do you expect Octavian and Octavians to be unbanned from GRP? Yes, I do. Our viceroy is actually a friend with some of the staff from GRP and has been talking to them, although I don't know how that's going. People say Octavian was at its peak under Alexander. Yeah, no shit. It's only ever been under Alexander, other than these issues. As I am in Madrid, and it is allowed, as long as you're not advertising Xander's ideology, you'll be allowed. Who actually owns Octavium? I do, along with investors. What's my opinion on the trial stalemated versus Alexander? To be honest about the trial, I didn't watch it. I didn't know it was going on until the last 10 minutes and where I saw the guilty verdict. I didn't watch it. I don't know what to think mostly of it. Although I don't think it was the smartest decision for Alec to allow stalemated to do that, because obviously, you know. What do you think about the Xandris and the Legion of the Dawn raiding Madrid every day? I think we're going to shoot you if you keep doing it. Good. Do you believe Octavian Foreign Affairs will be up? That's a question for the Premier. Will Gabriel Santos help Alec fund Alexander Island? What are you talking about? How many investors are there for Octavium, too? Do you have full control of Octavium in the holder account? I do. If you exchange one law to improve the community, ban Xanderism. Where they shoot all Christians in game. That's not a thing that's happening. Will the Octavium map remain the same and stalemated after we're planning on making a new map? Do you think Octavium will be stronger in some years? Yes, I do. I've already answered the question about how much Octavium was bought for. It's about $5,000 with investments. Who is Gabriel Santos and James O'Patrick? Will you allow more investors? No, we have all the money we need for the entire rest of the year. I believe that the ban on Alec has helped the community in any measurable way? Not yet, but I think it will. Once, because that's what we're here for. How can you be so sure you won't run into the group like some say you did with PDR? Okay, so I'll tell you about PDR actually. No, don't delete that message, Jack. I sold PDR for $5,000, and then Octavium was bought for $5,000. Those groups are not equal in value. I broke even on these two sales. So, what's your opinion on Christianity? Lucard's vehement hate on Christianity. I don't hate Christians. I think it's bad to hate Christians. I think it's bad to hate most religions. Are you with Lucard? No. Lucard has no ownership. Hold on, I'm checking the group chat now. Okay, I'm about to check the server again. I think there could be a problem collective of intelligence agents making formal, like big fives are. I don't know. Will you form your own stalemate? No. Do you make money from Octavium? Not yet. Is there a chance of having a formal alliance with Xanderism? No. I don't want to associate with Xanderism. Lloydguard doesn't have a place in Octavium in any official capacity. I don't know why you keep asking me about Lloydguard. No, you need to stop asking that. No, he's not. What else? Do you think Octavium will slowly step away? No, we have reinforced. Pitcher, get back down. Get out of here. We have reinforced it in our new constitution. It's not released yet, but it's still Roman Catholicism is still mentioned in our new constitution, and we're still pushing for it. We're just not enforcing it, forcing it. Who do you plan on declaring war with? We're going to be talking about war with Teutonia, obviously. Also, the Chinese want a little piece that Alexander stole from them, apparently. So I need to go beat up the Chinese. Am I personally a Roman Catholic? No. Now you've made your name Brico Patrick. What exactly has improved since Alec was banned? Well, there is no more Alec, and I think that is an improvement. As for activity is more stable. Obviously, there's going to be waves of issues that are popping up and down. That's something we need to handle. Is Octavium going to maintain its ideology? Probably. Obviously, it's going to be toned down a bit. There's a lot of narrative that I don't like. Will you be working the law of Alexandria stability? No. We're working on a new map, so I don't think questions about this current map are relevant. Was your plan in the group's future growth without the use of third-party advertising? Okay, so actually, Banastic, I really do appreciate that question, Banastic. So the plan is, I heard from one of my developer friends that Roblox is changing how they do game development, or monetary for game development, and they're doing it off of retention. So I want to boost player retention. There are many plans to enable factories and other like player generated stuff, making an economy work a bit better, making money mean more, having player driven jobs, stuff like that. Is Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior? Probably. I don't care about your religious questions. I've already told you the Octavian stance on religion. If the ban was meant to protect Octavian, why is Octavian weaker than ever? I don't know who you are. You have another man's name as your clan tag. Obviously, whenever there's issues, then there's instability. What's the current part of Octavium ideology you condemn? Well, it's not Octavium ideology, it's Xander's ideology, isn't it? You have the power to shape the future of the community. What bold changes would you ensure a better tomorrow for everyone? A better tomorrow for everyone? It's going to take a lot longer than a day. No, the group's not going to become communist. No, it's not true that I'm homophobic. I don't care. What do you think about this idea? Is Anders leave Octavian alone? Octavian leaves Anders alone. Yes. Good. Why have Octavium as a Roman Catholic state if you're not religious? LARP. Are we going to fight any opposition rebel forces? We already have 2 rebel factions, one of which is a monarchist faction. Can you tell the truth about everything and nothing but the truth about Alex trial? I had no involvement in Alex trial, and I wasn't there. I didn't even see it. Why are people being punished for simply being associated with Alec? They're not. What future are you talking about, Convor? Why hasn't Alec been banned? He was banned. He was unbanned specifically for this. Are LGBTQIA people going to be allowed to join Octavian with U.S. leader? Sure. Are you going to become a democracy? No, we're going to be changing the government structure. I don't even know the name of the government structure we're going to be taking. Isn't Sanderism the Octavian ideology? Not anymore. Why didn't you see the trial? It's too long and I wasn't there. Do you believe the new map will help increase activity? Yes. You think the Legion of the Dawn will ever get its own building? Probably. If I am a Sanders, do you believe I should be roped? No. Don't even ask. No. What would you do if when you okay, so he said, yeah, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the future of our community, how can we make it better for everyone. Okay, so I want to increase playability and the community itself. When the Octavian is not going to take an official stance off a YouTube video. I don't care. What will be the punishment for degeneracy, ERP, and other degenerate actions? Obviously, we want to not have that in our group. And this is actually, hold on. I want to talk about this. This is an issue I had with Alec, where he outlined Kavara laws, which he named after a known degenerate in his community, Enzir. And I told him, this is weird. It's weird naming it after him. It's weird outlining laws for it anyways. We don't endorse it in our community. And people who have done it, because there are people in our community who have done it, I've actively said, if you do this again at all, you're going to be banned from my community and all my future projects and all my current projects. Like, you will have no place with me. That's my opinion on the degeneracy and ERP stuff. Is it true you were working with Stalemated and Banastic the entire time? No. In fact, I never spoke to Banastic until after I owned Octavium. and I was not working with Stalemated in any capacity at all. What are your plans to get the Imperial Regiment and the sub-departments active once again? I have a good premier who will be handling that. I have about 2 minutes left of questions. What's your stance on the rating trying to help activity not Octavium? I like the rating. I think it's a unique idea because, William, you have your group of raiders, and then we have Howard Hughes, who has his monarchist raiders. The monarchists are not Xanderist. They popped up after we removed the title of emperor. They want to restore either a king or an emperor. How does silencing an entire ideology fit in your claims of being democratic? I never said I was democratic. I am a dictator. Is it true you're going to be sell Octavium as soon as any hate starts coming? Dude, if I was going to sell Octavium as soon as I was getting hate, I wouldn't have bought it in the first place. Is it true you're scared of people finding out the stuff you've done? Are you projecting? I don't have a 300-page document about me, Sir Who. That's your guy, not me. Will you allow PMC? Sure, probably. What ideas do you have to help improve? I'm getting a lot of questions. You're actually, Convor, I'm going to DM you afterwards. We're going to run through our ideology and plans. We're going to be keeping Ave, but we're not going to be saying Ave name. So there's not going to be any Ave Kelgos. There's not going to be any Ave anything like that. It's going to be rank. So you would say to me Ave Cadillo, you would say the rank, or you would say Ave Octavium. You would not say Ave Alexander. You would not say Ave Kelgos. That's not allowed anymore. As to prevent personality cults and other ideologies like that. So you allowed those members to, despite their actions, to stay anyways. Why not have a zero tolerance policy? Because I do believe in second chances, and I do believe in forgiveness, and I do believe in saying, hey, this is wrong, you should stop doing it. Simple as. Obviously, there's a low tolerance policy, but not an absolute zero. Would you allow raiding groups to make a political party in Octavium to spread LARP? Yes. We will be opening up. Not for sale. We will be opening up political parties, and we'll be allowing registration. You can do that with the premier.
All right.
Okay, that is my 30 minutes. It's all on Alec now.
All right. Hey, everyone. It's me, Alexander, the evil professional dictator. So let's direct all questions to me going forward. Rising will take a break. We'll be up for 30 minutes. He did tell me that we can't allow overtime if we need to. So let's get started. The first question that I have is, Alexander, are you red-pilled? Yes, very much so. I'm also based. I'm also Christ-pilled. And I'm also white-pilled. Pun unintended. How do you feel about Arbor 2 at the moment? Arbor 2 is kind of in a very chaotic state. For the better part of the last year and a half, there was a lot of competition between me and Lloydguard. There was a big rush for power between me and Teutonia. It was very exciting. Everyone was very interested to see who's going to win this war. Unfortunately, Teutonia won that war. Octavium has been extremely weakened since then. And so I believe it's in a very dull, boring state where Teutonia is basically LARPing Man in the High Castle, where they control everything. Hopefully that changes in the future, but obviously I don't like the idea of Teutonia running everything. I think most of you would agree with me on that stance. A lot of people will look up to you saying they happened. What keeps you motivated to keep fighting for the community? I would say it's God. I would say I'm motivated by God. I'm motivated to say the truth. I'm motivated to do the right thing. And I think that's what's happening to me is not the right thing. I think what's happening to me is cruel. It's exaggeratory. It's things that are out of context, and it's a guilty and proven innocent verdict. It's people taking things that look bad and then suggesting the context for it, and then saying I'm guilty. And we're finding out more and more that these images are out of context. We just made a document, actually, and they said that the screenshot where I said I was going to watch a video in a private space, he confirmed with evidence that was actually about a flag. It wasn't a nude. It wasn't anything that was NSFW. It was actually in regards to the flag. There are other instances just like that one. So we're very happy to see that big-time content creators are slowly realizing there's a lot more truth from my point of view, and I think that will continue to happen as time goes on. Will you continue to fight no matter what accusations, no matter what they try and say you are for the total victory Xanderism? Absolutely. A lot of people hate me that I'm still on this platform. I have a big fan. I'm not going to name him. His name starts with an S. And he's like, why are you still here? Why are you still playing this game? We ruined you. We stole your group. We did this. We did that. And it's like, bro, why would I give my enemies the pleasure of victory? Why would I do exactly what they want, which is to have me go completely dark? You know, I'm not going to return to Octavium or any other major group anytime soon, but I'm also not going to quit because what's going on here is cruel. And I believe with 110% confidence that what is going on here is evil. What's happening against me is evil and is being done by evildoers, regardless of what people believe or think. That is absolutely what is going on here. And if you don't see it, I hope that you see it eventually, because I promise to you, I guess swearing the Bible is a sin, so I won't swear on the Bible, but I will promise with all my heart, body, soul, and spirit that what's going on here is tall lies, it's tall tales, it's dishonesty, it's false allegations for the most part. How do you claim to be a Christian nationalist if you have tons of merch with your face on it and an ideology that revolves around you that is just bland idolatry, and against the Christian religion? Well, personality cults aren't against Christian religion. If you look at history, you have Charlemagne, you have Franco, you have the leader of Vichy France, you have numerous kings and emperors throughout history who had personality cults, who were dictators, who were leaders of their nation. And for the better part of 1,000 years, Europe and the majority of the Western world was controlled by monarchies, by kings and emperors who led their nations with an iron fist. And a great example of that would be my confirmation saint, Saint Louis. He brought prosperity, glory, wealth to France and purified it of all the degeneracy that was going on. He had loyalty to himself. So did Charlemagne. You have all these legends of history, and they were great Christians. Many of them are saints. I don't think being a dictator or an autocratic power is against the Bible. The Bible does not say that an ideal form of government is democracy or republicanism or anarchy or libertarianism. In fact, it has no preference. It has no preference. But the vast majority of the most Christian nations in the world were dictatorships. Francoist Spain is a very good example of this. Medieval France, medieval Spain, medieval England, every medieval country back in the day that was ruled by an absolute monarchy was more Christian than what Europe is today. And what is Europe today? And what is America today? Well, it's not a monarchy. It's not a dictatorship. And we're seeing the West deteriorate. We're seeing the West degrade. The most strongest nations in the world in terms of cultural values and political values are dictatorships. The countries that have retained their core ideology and their culture are nations that are led by an iron-willed leader. That is what Xanderism demonstrates, because obviously, if we are all Democrats, we all believe in our own things, how can we have a Christian government? To have a Christian organization, you have to have a leader who says, we have to do it this way, and everyone follows that leader and does it his way. If we have 100 people, if we have 1,000 people making decisions, and you sprinkle in 500 people that are not Christian in that community, then it is no longer a Christian community. It requires a vanguard. It requires a sort of iron-willed leader to maintain that culture, to maintain those ideals. And having my face on merchandise doesn't make me unchristian, doesn't make me a bad Christian. It's merch, okay? Should we tear down all the statues of the world because they portray and glorify our leaders? That's a very ignorant take. What did you think when I locked your game? I turned the game back on. What is your opinion on Calavos saying that he wants no association with Xanderism? I think Calavos is playing the optical route. He might disagree with me here, but I think he's under a lot of pressure from a lot of people. I think there's a lot of controversy about me. And it's not that he believes the document, it's just it looks bad to do so. And if he sides with me and brings me in and enables Xanderists, his people will hate him for it. His community will not like him. The outer community will not like him. I don't think he sees a future with me. There can only be a future without me, unfortunately. So I think that's why his views are kind of harsh, and I don't really blame him for it. I think that he could be a little less harsh, like when he says that what I said was weird and da-da-da-da. But other than that, I think that it's about optics. How do you feel about expanding international abroad, like beyond World War II? We already have. I don't know if that counts IRL, but we've made a lot of progress in real life. We made a lot of progress on other games. We have a Gmod organization. We have a Rust organization known as the Bambazinis, and they're not Xanderists, so to speak, but they carry the same things we have here. Could you give us one-on-one advice on how we can improve our own groups and how to start one? Well, you need a following. You need charisma. I totally believe that a leader needs to have a natural-born charisma to really lead. It has to be a natural ability. You cannot manufacture yourself into being a great leader. There could be leaders with potential that are mentored into being greater leaders, but you can't just learn how to be a better leader and be a better leader. It's a charisma thing. It's a destiny thing. Some people are destined for greatness, and some people are destined for failure. So you have to have a following. You have to have clout. You have to have money. And if you don't have 100 people, if you don't have 100,000 Robux, if you don't have all the resources necessary to build your empire, don't bother. If you want to start a nation and you have like nothing, don't bother. Wait until you have a following. Wait until you have clout, and then start an empire. That's what I did in 2016 with German Forces. I waited until I had a following, then I gained German Forces, and then I made my own project. Do you believe you are partially at fault for the situation which unfolded and led to your banishment from the community? Like I said in my videos, I think that there is a partial fault in the sense of optics, not a partial fault in the sense of me doing any wrongdoing. That includes the grooming allegations. That includes the allegations of me being anything to do with like grooming, anything to do with like anything along that topic. I don't take any blame for because I did not groom anyone. Not generally, not sexually, not for political views, nothing. I think to say that is, you could say it from a subjective point of view that people are being indoctrinated into Christian nationalism. From a subjective, biased point of view, you could say that. But that is not an objective point. That is a point that you would make if you're someone who disagrees with my views and you're left-leaning. Anyone that's right-leaning would obviously disagree with that. As a matter of fact, anyone that's right-leaning would say that's actually a good thing. Him bringing people to Christendom, bringing people to worship Christ is actually a good thing, not a bad thing. And if people are saying that they're being indoctrinated into it, what does it even mean? Are they being coerced into it? One of our Grand Council members, Fardy Bombardi, as far as I know, is an atheiist. He's not banned. He's not coerced. The original right-hand man of Octavium, Wilheist, was an atheist. We've had many atheists in our ranks. So we can have atheists in our ranks, and there's no issue there. I don't think anyone's being indoctrinated or forced into being Christian. But I do take accountability that I could have been more optical. I could have maybe made less jokes or provided more context in my jokes. A lot of what I said was stuff I said in 2023. Some of the screenshots, like the whole parental consent thing that was totally ironic, was something I said many years ago to mess with the guy that said they wanted to abolish age of consent. Why is that person not getting a document, but I am? Oh, because you defended your point of view when they called you a pedophile. Well, I don't think that's how that really works, but I've already clarified my views on these things, and for some reason, Root Media has dementia and forgets that I already said on a interview that I don't believe we should abolish age consent. I don't believe we should change age consent. I don't believe we should do anything regarding it. It should remain the way it is currently. And in regards to like parental consent, there needs to be a minimum of that. I think that it is a good thing that I think that fathers should, kind of set up a guide for their daughters. I think that it is a bad thing for there to be a rearranged marriage between a father and a woman, but obviously there has to be a minimum for that. Obviously there has to be a minimum age for that to happen. Otherwise it could be exploited for sex trafficking, among other things. So that's my view on that. That's always been my view on that. To say that I believe anything else is a lie. Even back then I didn't believe that. I've always had these views. I've always believed in a minimum age of consent. What do you...
Real quick here. When I asked that you spent like a little bit less time per question, like you saw, like I was going through them. Obviously, you have some longer ended questions, but try and hit more questions, like a minute each question or something like that. You're dragging, but
we'll get through it. If you want to allow overtime, I can. But some of these questions I want to really hammer on because I think they're very important. But I'll move on.
Okay.
Of the monopoly of the Word 2 community come to Tony, where they bought smaller groups, merge them. Yeah, that's obviously a power play. I disagree with that. When I ran Stunmated, I allowed for all groups to join. You didn't have to be owned by Loikard. You just had to be a member of the community, and you had to have activity, and that was it. Loikard wants total control of the community. He wants a total monopoly on the community. His defense for doing so is he cites General Glory. Well, General Glory does the same thing. No, he doesn't. When you make a regiment or a group for that genre, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the groups that are owned independently. Like, I don't think the Ottoman Empire, which media covered in their video, was owned by General Glory. I think it was owned by an independent person, and the same applies for other groups. Maybe not all the groups are, but I'm sure the majority of them are owned by their own independent owners, which is the way it should be in this genre. If you were offered the chance to Emperor, would you take it? No, I would not. What are your thoughts on Rising as a whole? I don't really have beef with Rising. A lot of it is kind of one-sided. Again, I don't want to bash him, but I think that his views are kind of harsh. In private, we have a very good conversation, and behind the scenes, we have a very good relationship. But in public, I think he is very much fixated on trying to defend himself and demonstrate that he's not a fan of Xanderism. I think that is because of Xanderism. are legitimate. Like I think he has a reason not like Xanderism because the Xanderists are constantly attacking him, and I told him, well, that's fair. Like, of course they're pissed off at you. Like you're saying that I'm a weirdo on a stage. Like, of course they're gonna be mad about that. But I think that otherwise, I think that he there could be more room for friendship and a prosperous future. What is your opinion on the new Octavian government? It's better than the previous government. I think Howard Hughes would make a really good emperor. Someone tell him he should become emperor again, but he keeps on changing. He keeps on like being fickle about it. But the current ownership of it is fine. Current emperor is fine. I mean, it's okay. Like I wouldn't say it's good, but it's I'd say it's okay. It's in the middle. What's your opinion on Calvo saying that he wants to stick with Xanderism? I don't really have an opinion on that. I mean, it makes sense. I already said it's about optics. What are your thoughts on looking at plans to divide us over two groups, make them into divisions? Well, obviously it's a monopoly. Obviously, Lookart's plan is to control the genre. And a main reason why, what he told me a while ago in 2023, was because there's a lot of hate against
Well,
Lookart.
the plan that you spent 2 years working for.
Look at this guy. Look at this
The
guy.
plan that you spent 2 years assisting in.
I did.
Puppet.
Oh, I assisted too. So why do you want me to remove that
And
from Octavium?
misleading all of your followers into
If I
thinking
was
that
your
you were
puppet,
independent
then why was it so
the entire
convenient
time.
that I be removed from Octavium? Is
You
it because
were
you
a
could control me?
puppet of
Is it
Teutonia
because
the
you could control me,
entire time.
Lloydguard? Is
The
that
whole
why?
time,
Is
in front
that
of all
why
of
you
your-
had me
in
removed?
front of all
Is
your
that why you
followers,
wait for
can
this
keep
document?
lying.
I think
Like you
that's
lie
why.
about everything.
There is no
You
lying.
keep on
The reason
lying.
why I was
You know-
Oh my
removed from
God.
Octavium
know the
is
truth.
because
You
of the
were a
fact
puppet the
is because
entire
of the
time,
fact
working
that I was
towards
not
this
bending
goal.
down to your will. That's why I was removed from your freaking another saying I have look my nickname. Look what they're
The
doing.
entire
This
time
is
you
the
were
new
working
leadership.
for this
Look at my
program.
nickname. Look at my
Why
nickname.
lie to your followers?
Look at my
Why
nickname
lie?
that I have.
Why continue lying?
This is the
What was
opposition.
point? What's the
Very
point in lying?
Christian.
What is the merit in lying?
There is
What is the
there
merit
is
in
no
lying?
lie here,
You
Lloydguard.
say
There is
now
no
that-
lie here.
You say now that I am some kind of satanic beast. The entire time you have
Well,
served
I
me
mean,
and
you're
So that
anti-Christian.
means
You
for the
hate
last
Christianity. You
years-
despise Christianity.
the
You
last
think that
2 years,
Christianity
you've
is more
been called
harmful than the
opposition.
other
All
religion
of your
that's sponsoring
followers-
immigration in
All
Europe
of
and in
your
Western
followers have
America.
done this in aid of me, not in aid of
Why'd
you.
they mute
Your
Rising
entire
Cow?
group was owned by me the entire time.
Does Rising
That's
Cow
why
even
I was
own this
able to
Discord
remove
server?
his
What's
comment.
going
That's
on?
why we're in this position now. And you can
I do.
keep
One
on
second
lying
here.
and telling people
Yeah, can we
that
get some law and
we
order in
work
this
to
stage? Can we
remove
get
you.
this flaming homosexual off my dick?
Where is the logic? Where is the
Okay,
logic?
so he's gone. Clearly, that didn't go very well. Yapping a lot, but oh,
What the fuck happened there? All right.
Yo, invite him back over.
No, he left.
Oh, he left.
He
the
left.
server?
He left like the coward that he is. All right, Octavian Xanderists, the people that I wanted to speak to. Alec has systematically lied to you constantly in order to justify his own position. But here is the reality. Alec has served as a puppet of mine for the last 2 years, used you all for this goal of bringing the genre together. All he has done is work for me. So all of these things where he has now decided that he is mistreated Christian warrior with a Pornhub account. You can go check that, by the way, because his email was leaked. All of this makes no sense. Why would I spend 2 years building up Alec in order to suddenly rug pull him? What would be the point? What is the logic? What is the sense in doing that? Think about it yourself for a second. I spent 2 years building up a puppet to fight Teutonia, and then all of a sudden decide to destroy Alec. What is the point? Because it was always going to result in Alec, quitting the group. That was always going to happen. So let's think about this realistically here. Alec, as soon as that doc dropped, that was over for Alec. You guys can cringeworthy obsess over the loyalty that you have to Alec, but as soon as that doc dropped, it was over for him. Whatever you want to cope about, that was always going to happen. So the doc dropped. I still did everything in my power to allow Alec to have a chance to defend himself in public. I did everything that I possibly could in order to give him a chance to defend himself. So why would I bother to do that? Why would I bother to do all of that? Why would I bother to build Alec up in the first place? Spending my own money and my own time to build his group and his community and following up. If it was simply for the point of eventually rug pulling him. What is the actual logic behind that? Alec and I were working together for the same goal of consolidating RWW2 together. So you fellas can believe Alec's lies, you can believe his completely delusional fantasy worldview. But the reality is that your leader now proclaims his innocence and his Christ-like devotion, spent the last 2 years working for me. He never had a penny from the group. He never had control over it. The entire time I was in control of it, of the email, of the accounts, of the Discord. Everything was mine. And Alec worked essentially for me for 2 years. And you are all pawns. All of you have been pawns in this great scheme. So all of this stuff about him, yeah, look, you can dislike me. That's entirely fine. That doesn't bother me at all. But your decision to continue believing these lies, continue believing everything that these people have told you. Now, maybe this whole thing about being some kind of supremely Christian group, maybe it isn't actually true, and it's just a group like any other. And Alec is doing this for his own ego. I mean, when the doc dropped and the trial happened, Alec could have left RW2, he could have left the platform, and he could still have had a legacy that was successful in the form of Octavium. So ultimately, where does the reality lead? What does it actually make in terms of sense? So Alec decides that he wants to, stay on this platform and give his community no game to play, no group to be a part of, no ability to do anything. Because Alec is not capable of making a dev team. That's why he had to buy Madrid. Well, he didn't even buy it. 216 Artworks, my company, bought Madrid. But the reality is that you've all been duped. You have all been misled and are continuing to be misled. And you can leave or you can call me names, you can do whatever you want. But the ultimate reality of this is that you have been systematically misled by somebody that is not working for any good moral purpose, but is working solely to enable their own ego. And the reason that that is, so evidently clear is by the fact that rather than walking away and allowing Octavium to survive as a Xanderist project without Alec's presence, he destroyed it. And in the process of doing, destroyed all of your work for the last 2 years. So that's where it is now. Now, this is not going to stop anytime soon. There is a lot more coming. Root Media is producing a feature-length video on this topic, which will go into an even higher level of detail. The people that continue to support Alec, in spite of everything that has come out, are going to find themselves very quickly in a difficult position because you are enabling all of the problems that exist in RWW2. Alec was removed for a reason. The evidence that was presented by Mike, not by me, and even if I had wanted to defend Alec, it wouldn't have been possible for me to do so. I know that you people live in this echo chamber where you are able to simply deny reality and blot it out. But the vast majority of RWW2 believes that Alec is guilty of these crimes, if not worse. Whether it was the grooming stuff or whether it was the cyber criminality, the doxing, things like that, the vast majority of people believe it. And you can say that the trial was rigged. I would question the logic on that from the first point of why would we spend 6 hours rigging a Roblox trial? Surely if it was rigged, we would have just made it, a 30-minute cut and shut decision. But you people insist on believing these lies. There isn't a thing that Alec hasn't lied about, and he is lying to you. Now, there is an opportunity for you here to make different decisions. You can move away from Xanderism. You can break away from the cult-like atmosphere of using Christianity as a weapon, which is disrespectful and inappropriate, especially in the context of a Roblox server, a Roblox game, whatever, Roblox group. Or, you can break away from that and you can join other groups. I'm not saying you should join Teutonia. You can come back to Octavium and help Calvalos rebuild it. Or you can join other groups in RWW2. This is your opportunity to get away from all of this stuff. Alec's attempt to worm his way back into Octavium has failed and was always destined to fail. And that's why he ran away just now. He's not willing to defend you. And when his lies are called out directly to him, he collapses. This has always been the case. His ridiculousness is once again exposed. You can hate me for being, faggy English anti-Christian fellow, but I don't make my groups being about anti-Christianity or anything like that. We have people of all faiths and backgrounds, and that will always be the case. But the way that you people have run your groups and the way that you go on things is It just doesn't work. That was a Ithoros, that was a bait post which you fell for. There are no brothels in Newcastle upon Tyne. You're welcome to go and Google that. They don't exist. But it was a good test of the fact that you people will literally believe anything if it's said, and you actually will just believe anything at all. Like that's the reality of the matter is that you will just believe anything. But if you think that a troll post like that is worse than, well, yeah, it was a unwise thing to say, but it was pretty good bait, and it did kind of make it clear that you guys will believe anything you want to, anything that you're drip fed in order to justify your position on this. So it did a lot of damage to your argument. You will just believe anything. Now, here, let's talk about something more important here. Alec is leading you into oblivion. He has no intention of delivering a map. He has no ability. He has no devs. You are going nowhere. You're not going anywhere. It's over. Now is the opportunity to break away and join groups that actually have a chance. This Xanderism thing, whatever you want to call it, is completely poisoned. And now I'm going to post something in the town hall stage for people's reference. You people believe that Alec is, he has all of these loyalists and loyalist followers and things like that. Now, I have a recording here from the latest SAS, whatever you call it, right-wing meetup in the United States. Now, can you tell me why Patrick recorded Alec's reaction to his server being nuked, if he is such a loyal follower of Alex? Why did he record him in real life to humiliate him over Roblox? It's interesting, isn't it, that Alec makes his entire groups about demanding loyalty from you people, constantly demanding loyalty all of the time. All of the time, you have to be a loyalist. You have to be loyal to Alec. But none of that loyalty is ever actually earned. And so consequently, it is simply demanded of you and expected. And it's a poisonous atmosphere to be in. The reality of loyalty is that loyalty is a two-way street. Loyalty is earned by a leader from his followers, and in return, they follow him. It is a two-way street. And that is not the case with Alec, because it is about his ego. But that doesn't deliver on anything. You have no devs. You have no ability to set anything back up. You're finished. So now is the opportunity to jump from the sinking ship before it goes down with you. There are plenty of opportunities. You can rejoin Calvalos's Octavium. There's no reason for Octavium to die just because Alec wanted it to, because he could no longer be a part of it. I don't own it anymore, so you're not just joining a group that is a puppet of mine, as it has been for the last 2 years. The entire time that Alec ran it, it was a puppet. So you fellas can go on down this path of destruction as long as you want, but it's not going to stop anytime soon. In fact, it's only going to get worse. Alec's refusal to bow out while there was still some tatters of dignity left has led to this situation. And it is a very sad state of affairs. The innumerable lies that Alec is spewing in order to justify his position don't change the reality and don't change the truth. And none of the stuff that he is saying adds up to reality. Unfortunately for you guys who have decided to pin your flag to a sinking mast, I think it's very much over. But that doesn't mean it's over for you, and it doesn't mean that you have to continue going down this path. There is still time to turn away from it.
All right. So we're going to end that here. We're going to end the event here. Moving forward, we are not going to be allowing any active Xanderists. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be script banning the Xanderist group. We will be checking their Discord servers. Xanderism will not be permitted. It is proven to be a harmful ideology. Even before this event, there was proof of attempts at subversion of this event on behalf of the Xanderists, where they were talking in their intelligence LARP group chats, saying that they were going to attempt to ruin the event. I have the screenshot of that event that will be provided in the future. There was also talk of Alec working with certain groups in an attempt to nuke Octavium. He's made it clear that he does not want to return in any way, but this group said that they would reinstate him So moving forward, Xanderism will not be allowed at all. That's going to be the end of this stage. I will be deleting the stage now. Thank you.
Oh, that was hugely.
How we doing, guys? Hey,
That
guys.
was the ultimate.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi. Hello.
That was such a good work, Paul.
That was hilarious.
That was just so good, so good.
Right, now
Hearing him-
now time to delete the Alexander game
Look guard, that
again.
was a checkmate.
I think
Hearing him
Time to
drop
delete
the
the
soap was
Xanderist.
hilarious.
it was just inevitable. But look, all of the people in here that have joined that are not aligned with Alec or who are aligned with Alec, whatever, who've decided to leave or deciding to stay, this is an opportunity for you to get out of this thing before it goes, even further down the tubes. You ain't getting a map. You have no devs. You have nothing. Now's the chance to get away from this.
Literally, his dev team is in shambles. They don't know how to set up.
He has never been able to organize a dev team. All of his groups have been slop stolen from other people. Even this latest thing is just, I believe what you provided most of the assets for it, and they made it in like 5 minutes. It's just like good grief.
The actual Xanderist game, not bad. They've got all the assets to the game underneath the map because they've stolen half of it.
Yeah, it doesn't
from-
surprise me. All right, well, I appreciate being asked to help with this, and if anybody has any questions for me, you can
Can I
always,
suck you off? Can I suck
always
you
can
off,
drop
please?
Absolutely not. But if anybody has any questions outside of that, you can let me know, and if it's related to this sort of business, I'll be happy to answer. And catch you boys later.
Banastic, bro.
Hey, Banastic.
See the new content based on this town hall.
Oh, he's
Like it's
left.
Banastic.
Patricia, mate, I don't think he wanted to listen to you.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't really care.
Yeah. Right, time. Right, time to get the jihadis in. I will sacrifice my life for Pakistan. Time to get the jihadis in here. Oh my god, dropping like flies. Fucking hell. Fucking hell, it's dropping like flies. Shit, and another one gone.
That really escalated quickly.
It did. That was actually really funny. I actually liked that. That was funny. I wish they kept the thingy up, 'cause I could download the. What the hell is this clip of Alec eating?
I came to this stage for entertainment, and I was not turned down.
It was very funny though. Armand.
Like I just came for pure entertainment. I knew some shit will happen, and it happened. Indeed.
Domestic. Invite me back to your server. Okay, I just got aired.
Heinrich.